Well, good afternoon. I'm Jennifer. This is the Sarabella podcast, and this is a podcast that we talk about all things, but mostly highly sensitive. And with that comes autism, ADHD, mood disorder, schizophrenia, parenting, the way they live life, and most of all, addiction. Can I not forget that? We try to explore every topic, and we have special guests and we have special products that we just tell how we can live a better life. And today I have the privilege of my friend Joel, that we have been in Narcotics Anonymous together, and we have broken our anonymity. And so we talk about the beauty of this program. And so I just want to share a little bit about my love for him and just the gift that he has been given that he doesn't even know. And you'll be able to see that in a little bit, but I call it spoken word. He just has a gift for words and a passion that comes out and just lets the spirit, his God speak through him. And so it's incredible. And, but before that, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here and that you took the time to get out. And, we've known each other for a little bit, but I just want people to hear a little bit of your story and just the journey that you've been through and kind of where you were, how you got to NA, like where you are today.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, I'd like to start off. Hi, my name is Joel. I'm a grateful recovering addict.
Hi, Joel.
And first and foremost, I'm honored. I'm honored that I'm here with you. I'm honored that who would have thought if I just put down a pipe, right? I'm going to be 100% authentic because that's how my recovery is. I want it 100% raw, 100% authentic. And the thing is I always thought that I was never authentic, right? I could never be myself. And I always put a mask on and I was always smiling because in the society, that's what I was taught to be. Sit upright, don't speak, shush. I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong. And that's what I grew up with in my life, right? And so I always put a mask on. I was always hiding in the background. I was always that person that was in the dark shadows, always having self-worthlessness, always feeling self-loathing, and always that person that society told me that I was like a mistake. And then it was only through this wonderful program called Narcotics Anonymous that gave me this fourth chance to live at a first class life. And I say that it's because it's given me all this love that I felt like I didn't deserve, right? And it's thanks to the rooms in Narcotics Anonymous that you guys brought me to my higher power, that I like to say God. And I say God because it's easier for me to say, but I'm grateful that I can say that today. But previously I couldn't. Previously, I was the con artist, I was the manipulator, I played the victim card, I was the trickster, the fraudster, and I smiled in your face while stealing your stuff. Because that's how I lived my life, because that's what happened to me when I was little. That's what someone betrayed me, someone hurt me, someone said I was a mistake. And so why don't I just become this mistake then, right? Why don't I just be this bad person? But through my recovery, we're not bad people. Sometimes I was dealt with the cards I was dealt with. And I now know in my heart that I believe that God was always there for me. My higher power was always looking out for me. So I start my journey, at the age of at 5 years old. I was I'm gonna get really honest with you guys. Like I was sexually assaulted as a little boy. I was left with two predators in a room and they had like porn on and there was all of that stuff, right? And so then and there, when I was growing up, like my family was in this grip of this disease, this addiction, right? They were the dealers. They were the people that you would go to go get your stuff, right? And then growing up, there was the domestic violence that was getting abused. There was the sexual assault constantly. There was I don't know who these people are, but they're coming in and out of the house, right? So I don't know any of these people. And I don't even know if my mom's is either having sex with my dad or is he beating the crap out of her again? And I remember those feelings of being so scared that I would go under the covers and I'd like, oh, please don't catch me, because I remember when I wanted my dad's validation. I want my dad to tell me that he's proud of me. And then I got jealous because he always had his stepwives there. And then he had shown love to the stepkids, and I got mad. And I remember I pushed this kid, and my dad, instead of saying, no, you don't do that. We don't do that. We don't put our hands on people. He grabbed me by my arm and threw me in the room and said, get on that shelf and I will push you off. Instead of telling me and showing me and just being compassionate with me, like, you don't put your hands on people, Joel. You don't do that. I was always bruised up. And I would cover my bruises at school so no one would see me, because I was full of shame. I was full of guilt. I knew that you're not supposed to be beaten up at the age of 7 years old or 6 or 5. And so as I grew up, the girlfriends at the time, he would have an affairs constantly. I would be around a lot of sex, a lot of that stuff, all that grimy stuff, right? And I remember one of his girlfriends threw me into she threatened me to, if I didn't act right, I would throw you in the closet with the light off. And that's when I learned that I was scared of the dark. So growing up at that young age, I kept all this emotions inside me. Because you know how you hear it, people say, don't cry, or I'm gonna make you like, what is the saying? Like, I'll make you cry. I'll give you something to cry about, right? And I'm like, who says that? Like, who says that? Like, really? Like, that's not cool. Like, if I'm sitting there hurting, I'm hurting. I want to know why my kid is hurting. Yeah. If his feelings are not being validated, and be like, what's up, mijo? Are you all right? What's going on? Did you get bullied? Because I got bullied in school. I always didn't like myself because my voice was too girly, or I was the fruitcake. I was so very feminine, or I was more, how about this? I was more in touch with my feelings at school. Yeah. I was always in touch with my feelings in school. But growing up, I don't know people's households and how they're being brought up in school. And so they bring all of that anger to school, and I was bullied. And now that I know the things that I know, is those kids were victims of assault too also. So where do you process that, right? Right. Someone's fragile than you, someone smaller than you, someone that won't defend themselves. And that was me until I got tired of that. And I became that bully too. But I knew that was bad. And so I tried I tried to bring more love growing up than misery. But I was always that person that would like steal your Pokemon cards, I'd be like, I want it, just for fun, right? I was doing dope fiend stuff at that age, because it was the hit. It was like, oh, you can't catch me. Like, I'm gonna do this, right? But the thing is every time I did something like that, God intervened and always put the spotlight of truth on me. And I was always at the scene of the crime, right? And I never got away with it. Never. And I'm grateful I didn't, because I can't tell, like, I'm a really horrible liar. Like, it's like when I tried to lie, I would be like, yes, I took the cookie. Like, you would know, like, you would know, right? And I'm grateful that I'm an honest person, right? So growing up, now I'm hitting my puberty. I'm hitting puberty. I'm learning about myself. Things are like coming out of nowhere. And I was getting angry because I watched this movie called Harry Potter, and they had like the Sorcerer's Stone, and then they had I guess the Chamber of Secrets, right? And then Harry Potter had a deep voice, and I remember I was like, I want a deep voice. I want to have a deep voice like them, and you can hear it that they hit puberty. I was a late bloomer, guys. I was a really late bloomer. I was still talking like this at, middle school and stuff like that. And of course, what do? People started making fun of me, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and there's my self-worth going down again, right? And then finally I hit high school, and I guess this is my voice now. This is my voice now, and I didn't like it, but I was like, this is what I got. Right? I can say that today. Yeah. So at the age of 15, I wanted to learn how to become a man, right? And here's, by the way, my father went to jail. So during this whole time, my father went to jail and he found Narcotics Anonymous too. So my first meeting was I was 7 years old. 7 years old and coming into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous people. Why? Because he had to go to the meetings. He had to get his, he was on probation. He had to get his court card filled out and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing was, is now I know today, when I walked into those meetings, it was so much love. There was so much acceptance. They were drinking coffee. They were smoking their cigarettes. But it was like, there was no like segregation. It was all diversity, all coming to be unified. The bikers were with the cholos were with the gangsters were with the drag queens were like, it was a full on pure love, you know? And it was amazing. And for my first time in my innocent eyes, I didn't see differences. I just saw unification. And it was thanks to a loving higher power that I know today that my higher power put me in that room so I can see that love, that I can see that there was that unconditional love.
Yeah.
And so after that, my dad didn't work no steps. He didn't get no sponsor. But for that brief moment, you could see his life getting back together, getting good. He got you know what we do. We get the relationship, we get the car, we get the money, we get the job. We get a little bit of that self-esteem back and we get that stuff. But if we don't work no steps, if we don't have our higher power, if we don't give thanks for the things that we get, it goes straight into a pipe, a bottle, a syringe, a pressed pill, a prescription. It doesn't matter. If we don't get grateful for the things that we have, it can all fit down the drain one more time. Yeah. And so fast forward, and when I was 15, I want to learn how to become a man. So I'm like, Dad, I want to live with you. You know, and by the way, I was living with my mom in Sacramento, and then I moved it with him in San Francisco. And my mom was heartbroken because I wanted to become like this man, right? That's like what we do. Like, I want to become a man. Right. Don't know about my sexuality. I'm just trying to figure out who I am. And so I thought the best course is to be with your father, right? Right. Be with your father. So I go over there, and instead of teaching me how to become a man, he taught me how to sling dope at the age of 15. He said, bring this bag to the cholos, and it's okay for you to do it because you're a minor. You're not going to go to jail. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So I knew I was part of this thing. Thank God for this program called the DARE program, because it was like, and you see on the commercials, right, that is like, drug free is the way to be, right? And also I got that in my head, right? And I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to do that. No. And definitely, Dad, I'm not going to go ahead and grab this fucking weird powdery substance and take it to these people. Yeah. So instead I left. While I left, he got deported back to the Philippines. He left back to the Philippines because why? He violated his probation. He doesn't have a green card. And so I was left on the streets of San Francisco at the age of 15 years old. So what do you do at the age of 15 years old, walking down the streets of San Francisco? Don't know who I am. Well, I got picked up by men. And that's how I survived for many years. That's what I thought love was. So they started giving me attention because I'm like this little skinny, little youthful, 15 years old, hopping in cars with strangers, going from home to home to home, smiling, thinking that everything's all right when everything is not all right. You want to talk about degradation? I can tell you about dereliction, and I can tell you about animalistic level just to survive, just to put food on my table, just to get a cheeseburger. That was my life. I had to turn, the way they said they loved me is turn around and arch your back. That shit's hard. Now bringing this out, I guess God wants me to bring this out, and being alone, being a mistake, that gets to you. But we're not mistakes. Yeah. We're not. No. We were dealt hard cards. We were dealt cards that, like, life got lifey, okay? And so I was hanging out with these people, right? And they were putting me on stage and stuff, like, because I'm skinny, right? They put me in the clubs, and that's where I found my validation. That's where I found my love at that point. And they were giving me attention, the attention that I thought that you're supposed to give your child at the age of adolescence, or when they're toddlers. But instead I got this thing called lust. Joel, you're so pretty. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to come back to my room. Come on. And then all of a sudden, there's that thing called drugs, that powdery substance, the little pill. The first drug that I took was this little pill. I remember this. It was a pill, and it had like little Louis Vuitton pressed, like it was like pressed on, and like then all of a sudden it was like Skittles, but it wasn't Skittles. It was weird, like, and so I was like, okay, sure, I'll take that. And then all that anger, all that fear, all of that like everything, I didn't care about it anymore. I didn't care anymore. It was I don't give a F anymore. And I was just like, I need to get more. And that's where the addiction came in. Get more, go to the means and lengths to get what you need. But as long as I stay from that powdery substance or that crystal-like substance, I'll be good, right? I'll be just fine, because, drugs are bad, right? And my dad did that stuff. And so I'm not going to do that. No, I'm just going to do the liquid stuff, the one that you see at every freaking grocery store, the one that you see at every bar, everything that you see at every club. I was going to do that. I can do that, right? Because it's socially acceptable. How about that green leafy substance stuff that you put in a piece of paper and then do that, right? Talk about like I had $5 and I would have done anything to grab that. Talk about anything. I'm talking anything. So I didn't have to feel like worthless anymore. So I didn't feel, because I get my confidence in a substance. That's where I got my confidence. But that was just fake stuff. That was hollow. I was fraud. I was phony. When I thought and the thing is I thought my happiness came from material things. How much sex I can have, how much people can be around me, what do I have to give you to keep you in my life? And then I lost it all. Everything. And where were those people that said they were going to be there?
Thought you were cute.
That was cute. Gone. Everything gone. Because what happened was I started to look like a skeleton. My stomach was all the way to my freaking spine. I looked like the raccoon. Like I was like the bandit, right? And they didn't want me around anymore. And so I said, okay, whatever. And I remember getting into a relationship. I was always hopping in relationships, man, because I wanted to seek some love. And it didn't matter where that love came from. I didn't care if you abused me. I didn't care if you verbally abused me. I didn't care if you physically abused me. There was points where I became the abuser too also. Yeah. Where I put my hands on you because I don't know how to process my feelings. I don't have a safe space to go ahead and tell you how I feel. So what do? Either I use, or I put my hands on you, or I cut myself. I do it because I rather feel physical harm, physical pain, than to feel this anymore. Yeah. That hollowness, that hurt, that pain. I remember it got to the point when it got to the end of the road. My first end of the road, I was sleeping under a bridge off of the 215 in Rainbow, and that's a place here in Las Vegas. And I said, how did I get here twirling a pipe? I had a car, I had a job, I tried to hide everything, I tried. And then what happened was I said, you know what? F it. I'll go ahead and do that powdery stuff. I'll go ahead and do that crystal-like stuff. I wanted to know why my family chose drugs over their own flesh and blood. I wanted to know why they picked this over me. And it was all of those feelings, everything. And I felt like the demon came out. Like, you know, there's this thing called the shadow people.
Yeah.
Like, I really do believe in them. I believe there are demons out there to get us. And that was my disease. It was telling me that he'll be okay. You can just take one. You can stop whenever you want. Or how about this? No one gives a freak about you. So why don't you just go ahead and do it, you punk biscuit? So I did. And I was off. I was lying, I was cheating, I was stealing, I was manipulating, whatever I can do to get that next one, because that's where I felt my comfort. And then I went from hotel to motel to Holiday Inn. I hung around with other addicts, or, active addicts, you know?
Yeah.
We stole credit cards. We did like this. It was the fast life. I'm talking like we like grabbed the license plate number from one car and we put it on another. Like this is sick, right? This is what we're doing. This is what we're justifying. We're rationalizing, right?
Right.
We're doing this stuff. All these things because I felt like, well, I'm a bad person. Society thinks I'm a mistake. I think I'm a mistake, so I'm gonna just do mistakey things, right? I'm just gonna do this, right?
Feel prophecy.
This is how I'm gonna do it, right? So I'm grateful for where I'm at today. And it took me a long time. And then guess what? There was a point where I tried to commit suicide. And I took a bottle of pills and took a lot of powdery substance. And the reason why I say this, because I don't want to give it a name, because it's a mind-altering, mood-altering substance. I don't want to give it power, because the drugs were just the symptom. The problem was me.
Right.
Now today I know that I was a problem, but back then I just thought I had a drug problem. I was like, and because this is how I know how to cope with things.
Yeah.
And so I drank a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be done. But God always found a way to interfere. And how did he interfere? In the form of me checking myself into a mental hospital. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I don't share this with anybody because I don't want this to be a crutch for me, but I am diagnosed with bipolar manic. And I was diagnosed with also borderline split personality disorder, and also PTSD from all the trauma, from all the assault, from all of the abuse and abandonment.
Yeah.
Abandonment. And neglect too. And the beautiful thing about this program that I work is it helped me get off all the psych meds. Who would have thought if I just get connected with you guys? If I just get connected with God, if I just get connected with you and you guys show me all this love that I don't really need. And this is just for me. This is for me. That all I ever wanted was love. That's it. And I think that's the most powerful thing that this program, this life has given me, is being able to not just love myself, but love you in the process, because you loved me.
Right.
I woke up in hospital beds after hospital beds after hospital beds thinking like, what's going on? And at that time, I didn't know it was a disease. At that time, I was just like, why can't I stop being, like, why can't I stay clean? Like, because I can get clean. Of course, anyone can get clean if you go to the treatment center, because I'm in a controlled environment.
Right.
I'm in a controlled environment. Everything's good. You're telling me how to eat, sleep, shit. Like this is like, okay, I can do this, right? And then you're feeding me all this love, and I'm going to all this treatment. I'm going all this one-on-ones, and so I get out of rehab. I get out of the mental hospital, and then I meet this wonderful guy, right? Meet this wonderful person, and I think like, okay, well, I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to stop, right? I get in a relationship. I don't know myself. I don't work no steps. I don't work this is before I went into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And you know what I did is I put my hand on that person. because I didn't know how to process those feelings that, yeah, I'm clean now, but I don't know how to feel these feelings. I don't know where to get my cup filled, right? I don't know how to. So I put my hands on you. And guess who caught a domestic violence charge? Me. It was me. And you know why I say that so proudly? Because it was my introduction back to a life worth living. It was my introduction back to living, back to Narcotics Anonymous. And I know this is an anonymous program, but I want you to know that you can do this, that we love you no matter what, and that you are wanted and you're needed. Because what happened was I didn't feel that until I came into the rooms, until I came into recovery, you know? So I get this lovely charge, and I'm grateful that the most loving thing that this person did was to call 911 and get me locked up, because it brought me home to you guys. And so I go and I'm like, this is how I know God freaking loves me. Let me tell you how much he loves me. Because you know, like in the movies, right? Like you're like, oh my God, you hear horror stories, like you go into jail and they're gonna get butt raped and stuff like that. Like, I am sorry, I'm getting organic with you guys right now, really raw, but it's true. Like they go in there and you hear the horror stories of like, you're gonna get beat up, you're gonna get raped, this is gonna happen to you. But guess what? None of that happened to me. And you know what happened to me? Guys in that cell with me protected me. They protected me. They said, leave him alone. He is going through stuff. And I was detoxing. I was off that stuff, right? Yeah. And I was detoxing all of this stuff. And I was going, because like, it was just straight up pain, Jan. It was straight up pain. It was like shards of glass. Like, it was shards. Oh, my mic fell. You see how excited I get, guys? But, it was like shards of glass, and I'm grateful that I went through that pain. I'm grateful that I went through that pain the second time. Oh yeah, it don't end there, honey. So I go in there, I get out, I'm like, we're gonna be clean, and we're gonna be best friends, and we're gonna do all this stuff, and we're gonna love each other, and da-da-da. And so I go in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, and I'm like, oh, I'm not like these people. Oh my God, I hear all the stories and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh no, I can drink on a Friday. I can stop on a Sunday. Wow, okay, yeah. And then what happens was, I stopped doing that. I don't like saying they're hard drugs. A drug is a drug, okay? Right. There's no like soft, medium, and freaking hard. Like, no, it's a drug. It's a mind-altering, mood-altering substance, right? Yeah. And so, because you want to know, my personal opinion, and we all got opinions, is the most dangerous ones are the socially acceptable ones. The ones you see in the dispensary, the one you see at every bar, the one you see at every 7-Eleven and every Quickie Mart and every liquor store. Those are the dangerous ones for me. You know. And so what happens is I do that dangerous drink, the champagne, Well, then one thing led to another. By the way, I'm in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, right? And I'm getting this hope. I mean, like, okay, yeah, like, oh, I understand you, but I just don't get you. Like, I'm like, okay, I can hear it. I can hear the message, but I'm starting to look at the differences. Oh, I never did that. I'm okay, whatever. And then somebody said, oh, you drink alcohol? You got to start your clean time all over again. I said, you know what? F you, I'm out. I'll show you how it's done. I did. It was a bad decision. Oh, that was a horrible decision I made. And I made that voluntarily because I didn't like it when you told me that, Joel, self-deception is huge. I didn't work no steps. I didn't want to get no sponsor because I thought a sponsor was going to be like my banker or something like that, or somebody like, I'm not going to tell you all my deepest, darkest secrets. But here's the thing. God had my back. And he knew that I was going to go out there and think that I was going to be I can use like a gentleman. Like, come on, like there's no such thing as that, right? So guess what happened? I went right back to where I left off. It was a gradual process that I went back into. And it was back to the lying and the cheating and then being around people and the syndicate of there was people that were making fake passports, and I thought that was okay to do. No, that's not okay to do. Okay. You don't do that. Go to the fucking post office and go get your passport because just do it. Right. Living on his program and but I didn't know that at that time. I was like, whatever, as long as you got the stuff, let's go, and, And that was insanity again. And you know what the crazy thing about me, Jen, of insanity is I knew that I was going to. I knew about the outcome, and I still did it anyways. I still did it anyways.
How powerful it is.
That disease is baffling and cunning and just insidious. And we say it in the literature, right? I want to, as long as I can have some money for the casino, I'm good to go, right? As long as I have the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the this, that, all the material things. And that was the thing for me. But every time I got all that material stuff, I felt so empty inside. And the only time I had felt fulfilled was when I was around recovering addicts. Recovering addicts. Not active ones, the ones that are being grateful. And I didn't understand how you guys were so happy. Like, what the heck? Like, you guys were so happy. And so I remember before I came to the rooms, again, I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I had a loaded gun in one hand, and I had a pipe in my other hand. I said, I don't want to do this anymore. This is it. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. What do I have to do? And then I get a phone call I prayed that my last rehab. And this rehab, like, I don't endorse any treatment center, but I love treatment centers. In Narcotics Anonymous, we have no outside opinion on anything. We don't endorse stuff.
Right.
But what I found out is when I went into that last rehab, there was this lovely thing called H&I. I call it humorous and inappropriate, but it was hospitals and institutions. And there was this person that came in and shared a life-saving message. Now, and that person was the person that I met when I first came into the rooms. And he celebrated 2 years clean. I came in, he was getting his 60 days. And for the first time, I was like, this program maybe works. Maybe it might work. If it worked for him, then it might work for me.
Yeah.
And I believe God sent this person in there to retrieve me. Out of 45 people in the treatment center, only 4 made it out.
Wow.
4 people are still clean as of today. So my clean date is 1/27/24, and it is a blessing to have that clean date. It is a blessing.
So awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And, your story is always, I've heard bits and pieces, but the way that you just have outlined it, it's really is the journey, and it's not perfection. It's whatever we keep on doing, and the willingness that you have had to be open to it. There was a foundation of whatever was felt in that meeting of love.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do now, Joel's going to pick a passage out and kind of does what he does, and you've seen it a little bit, but just his perspective on the basic text and just what it means to him. And he has a favorite passage that he's going to share with us. So we're going to let him do that.
Hi. Okay. All right. So my passage I'm going to read to you guys is going to be out of the basic text. It's page 107. And it's my favorite passage. And it was the breaking point for me for my recovery. So let me go ahead and read this. This is, more will be revealed. In recovery, our ideas of fun change. We are now free to enjoy the simple things in life, like fellowship and living in harmony with nature. We now have become free to develop a new understanding of life. As we look back, we're grateful for our new life. It is so unlikely the events that brought us here. While using, we thought that we had fun and that non-users were deprived of it. Spirituality enables us to live life to its fullest, feeling grateful for who we are and for what we have done in life. Since the beginning of our recovery, we have found that joy doesn't come from material things. It comes from within. But from within ourselves, we find that when we lose self-obsession, we are able to understand what it means to be happy, joyous, and free. Indescribable joy comes from sharing from the heart. We no longer need to lie to gain acceptance. Narcotics Anonymous offers addicts a program of recovery that is more than just life without drugs. Not only is this way of life better than the hell we lived, it is better than any life that we have ever known. We have found a way out, and we see it work for others. Each day, more will be revealed. You know, coming into the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, I always thought previously that I would find love in material things, how much money I had, how much clothes that I can wear, how many people that I can have an affair with. Like, that was my life, and how much like Ray-Bans I can get and how much material stuff I can get. But what I didn't understand at that point is true love, true joy, true happiness. Happiness comes from the fellowship, comes from here within. Coming to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous is, like I share this all the time, it's giving me a life worth living. I finally am grateful for the things that I have. I am grateful for the connections that I have. I am grateful for the people that come across my life. And for the first time, I don't see differences. I see similarities in it, people. Because there's no such thing as an addiction. Oh, the gay addict, the straight addict, the Black addict, the Latin addict, the Asian addict, the Hispanic addict, the Democratic addict, the Republican addict, or the rich addict, or the poor addict. I don't believe in that no more. We are addicts. We're recovering addicts. You see, the disease of addiction doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about anybody else. It wants us to be secluded. It wants us to be in part of that trap so it can kill us. So today I stand before you guys telling you that you are loved and telling you that we love you and tell you we're waiting for you. You don't have to be in the bathroom anymore, locked up, hating yourself. You don't have to be under the bridge, putting a syringe in you, saying that people don't love you because we love you, we need you. You don't have to be in a penthouse suite or in the streets. You can come back home to us into these seats and get some love and get some freedom. Today you can be who you are, what God intended for you to be. You don't need to be out there stealing and lying and cheating and manipulating and going from relationship to relationship or trying to get the next iPhone out there. True happiness, true love, true joy comes from within. It's that self-acceptance. So if you're newer out there, if you're watching this video right now and you are in pain, we're waiting for you. If you're out there behind us, looking behind a screen, not knowing who you are, we're waiting for you. And we love you. It's about time. The darkness is coming and it's already here. But just as the darkness is here, the light is here to shine too. Shine bright, baby. Shine. And so I want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to be part of your recovery, even though I haven't met you yet. See, I don't need to know you to tell you I love you. I don't need to know you to tell you I respect you. I don't need to know you on a personal level that when you say, hi, my name is blank and I'm an addict, welcome home. It took you long enough. It took you long enough to get home to us. And I pray that God brings you home. Bring you home to us. We've been waiting for you. You know, it's time to learn on who you are. Who are you? Is my question to you. And that's all I got to say, because I know who I am today thanks to this loving and caring progressive process. You know, I know I'm happy, I'm joyous and free. And here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing too. It's not easy, okay? But it does get better. It gets better. It does really do get better. And if you come in here and you come into the rooms, let us love on you. Let us wrap you up with this blanket full of unconditional love. Because you deserve it. Because that's what they did to me. When I was fractured, fragile, sensitive, frail. When I thought that I was destined to die out there. When I should have died out there. Let me get that correct. I should have. But thanks to my higher power, thanks to God of my understanding, He saved me. And now I get to live this life worth living. And I'm grateful for the days that are coming. You know, in recovery, we say keep coming back one day at a time. And I used to count the days, right? I used to always count the days, right? But it's not about counting the days anymore. It's about making the day count. Instead of having the anxiety of the future and the depression of the past, we're forgetting that today is a gift of the present. All we have is today. So I love you. You know I love you. I've been waiting for you. And so if you're here in the Las Vegas area, you'll always catch me in a Narcotics Anonymous meeting. Thank you for allowing me to share, and thank you for allowing me to be part of your recovery and allowing me to give you my heart. Thank you.